Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Fans React channel. We're doing a little, we're doing about an hour stream tonight on a Friday because, we thought we haven't done much content recently as the split between the season ending and the playoff game. And we also wasn't able to do a match day live for Wednesday, as me, Sean and Paul were all in God's country of Sunderland, all watching the game together, and it was the game wasn't great, but we all did enjoy ourselves in the end. I was going to mention it a little bit later, but as I've just seen, we've just had something now. We have in fact got the super chat on Fans React now, so thank you very much to Lauren Kenny for the $2.99 donation. So greatly appreciated. We have turned it on. It's there if you want to donate. We're really not begging, but for the kind of videos we want to do next season and in the next few seasons as well, we will need a few funds to invest in some equipment because none of us are millionaires yet. I introduced everyone who's on the stream so far. We haven't got Graham yet, but in your top right, he looks like anyone you could think of. He can speak like anyone from anywhere. The impressionist, the whoever, I don't know. Dan Humphrey, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright, mate. I'm happy it's the weekend finally. Feels like it's been a long one.
It has been, yeah. It's been quite a long week. And also we've got Alyssa Rao. Alyssa, how you doing?
Hiya, yeah, I'm all right. But again, just buzzing, as Dan said, for it to be the weekend. It's been a long week.
It's been a long weekend. For it to be the weekend tomorrow, it's a weekend we've been looking forward to, I think, for well over a year, because this weekend is going to be the weekend where the Sunderland fans are going to be allowed back into the Stadium of Light. Alyssa, you got the tickets. You're a season ticket holder for this season. You got the opportunity as soon as they went on sale. And do you want to let everyone know as well where you were when you were buying the tickets?
I was in my GCSE history class, doing an exam slam. But my dad's not good with technology and that, so I said I'd buy the tickets. So I ordered the tickets in the middle of my history. I didn't get caught, so buzzing.
Fair enough. And Dan is also a season ticket holder for this season as well, and he did order the tickets, but he's not going because he's not a proper fan. Instead, he's going to go watch his local team play at Wembley. But anyway.
I gave the tickets to you, mate. So.
I was getting to that bit. Yeah, Dan's very kindly giving me his ticket.
Well, I can say how my dad would take my brother to his game because he plays all over the country. My brother, so it's not it wasn't realistic for me to go up. So yeah, I gave the tickets to Matthew and his dad, and I'm going to Wembley tomorrow to watch my local team play at Wembley. So
yeah. I appreciate it from Dan and his dad. Definitely, and I mean, next season, hopefully we've got even more fans, so we can go as often as possible as well. I just want to say as well, I'll just say hello to everyone on the live chat. So you had Lauren, Kev, Flavin, Chris Scott, Joanne Punchin, Ben Allison, AJJ. Whether for Ducks and Boys, hope we don't duck this one tomorrow. Nathan Brown, hello guys. What you think of the tomorrow's game? We'll get onto that a little bit later. Just want to say first of all, Ben Allison, who we did meet in the pub in Sunderland. He sat down right next to us, and he couldn't quite believe that I made the trip up to Sunderland just to watch it in a pub. But yes, it was nice to meet you, Ben. And we did meet a few people as well in the pub who've been watching the channel as well over the past few months. So it was, if they're watching now, it was lovely to meet you. And it's great because we sit here and do the videos, but to actually meet the people who watch on the other end was absolutely fantastic as well. So and also I think Paul on the chat as well, just saying subscribe and hit the thumbs up. We'll try and do 50 likes for this live stream. That'd be brilliant, especially as it was unannounced. Right. Anyway, let's get started on the game. Sean did his interviews after the game. I did mine. I gave my thoughts. I was can't really remember much from that. I was a little bit worse for wear, but anyway, Dan, we'll come to you first. What did you make of the game on Wednesday? Was it what you expected, or are you surprised?
Not really, to be honest with you. I'm not surprised. The way we were playing the last games before the playoffs, you couldn't really you couldn't you couldn't really expect anything else really. I feel like obviously we're all going to be confident and try and predict that we're going to win, but deep down we sort of know that it was going to be a hard game because we were in absolutely no form. And what do I make of the game? I mean, that's a massive question. I do think the fans did help Lincoln. Don't get me wrong, but it's not an excuse in my eyes. I thought we started poorly, and we sort of got back into it, and then sort of after about 15 minutes, played some decent stuff. But for me, I was just the midfield again. The gap between the midfield and the attack was off. There's so much gap. It looked like there was no chemistry, no cohesion, and it was just already went tits up really. To be honest with you, and then obviously their goal. Both their goals, poor goals to concede. We had about 15 chances to clear away the first goal with headers or whatever. I can't remember who it was, but I think Max Powell headed out to someone, and one of our players could have sort of won it and cleared it. They lost that battle, and then it went back in, and obviously they scored from that deflection. Who was to blame to that one? I'd probably say it was. You could blame Flanagan for not clearing it in the back post, but it was pretty much a team mistake. That just numerous chances of clearing it away, and we didn't do it. And then the second goal as well. I mean, it just went from bad to worse from that stage. Fair play to Brennan Johnson. He closed him down well, but I think it's Lee Burgess' fault that. And I'm agree with you, Matthew. I've agreed with you and your dad the whole season. He's not cut out for this level and for our club, and it is a disappointing. I know he's done some good things this season, but he's proved time and time again that he's made too many mistakes in my eyes. But you can't just blame him at the end of the day. He was very poor, but the rest of the team was shocking as well. I mean, I thought Flanagan was brilliant in the first half or the first part of the game, and all of a sudden he just went to shit completely. Don't know what happened there. With Fads in again, I mean, I thought Hume started terribly as well, and then he obviously got injured. Brought McFadden on. I mean, I just feel sorry for the bloke because he's just not a League One player. I mean, he should be in the National League or something like that. It's getting a bit. I feel like he's one of those. He still tries. McFadden's not a player, doesn't try, but he's just genuinely shit, and we have no one else to play. I think Jake Vokins did travel down though. He didn't even make the bench. I saw him in the video. You could maybe try and play him, or I reckon he might be on the bench on tomorrow. On the bench tomorrow because obviously Hume got injured. So I presume McFadden will probably start. But yeah, overall. Another awful performance. Well, it wasn't awful, don't get me wrong, but it was just those same mistakes were made. And yeah, I'm not backing our chances, but I'm gonna pass it on now because there's a bit of noise in my house, so I'll go on mute for a second.
Right. Well, you say the Lincoln players got a bit of a lift from their fans. Now, when we were watching the game, the sound was actually off. Like there was no sound. So we were just watching the game on Sky, but there was no sound, so we couldn't even hear. We just saw the Lincoln fans obviously jumping around when them not scored.
They did make a good atmosphere, to be fair to them, I have to say.
Yeah, and there was only about 2,000 of them. Imagine if like 10,000 fans tomorrow, what that could do. But anyway, Alyssa, do you think the Lincoln fans gave the Lincoln players a little bit of a lift, or do you think we were just bad?
I think they definitely gave them a lift. I mean, if you have fans in your stadium for the first time in over a year, players are going to be up for it. They're going to be excited, and I think I wouldn't say we crumbled under pressure because of the fans in, but I don't know if you saw the video of Chris Maguire pre-match of him coming out. All the fans were booing him, and he was lapping it up. He loved it, and I think Chris Maguire, maybe in those sorts of games, someone who thrives off a crowd, maybe you should put him on. And I just hope if that was 4,000 fans at Lincoln, imagine what it's going to be like tomorrow, 10,000 fans at the Stadium of Light. And hopefully we can get the early goal, and everyone will be behind them if we get the early goal. It'll be bouncing.
Yeah, one thing in there as well. Chris Maguire. Like we've been saying for the past few games as well. Like, why isn't Lee Johnson bringing him on? And we're sort of in the game thinking, even like before the Lincoln game, saying we should maybe start with Maguire. Let's see what he can do. But then when it came to like 50 minutes, we're like, okay, maybe we should bring Maguire on. 60 minutes, definitely bring him on. 70 minutes, why isn't he on yet? And obviously, the end of the game, he never came on. What do you think, Alyssa? Do you think we should start him, or what did you think? Do you think the game was calling out for Maguire a little bit?
I think Maguire can always create that little bit of magic. I know sometimes he's very inconsistent on the ball, but he's going to thrive under a crowd, and he could it's always that what if he came on and he did I don't know, score a free kick or did create that little bit of magic. But I think you should be given a chance. I think in the press conference, Lee Johnson said he hasn't had a falling out with Maguire, but there was just nobody to take off to put him on, which I thought was quite confusing, because I would think of I don't know, I don't understand why we're not playing him, especially even as just an impact sub. He doesn't have to start, but as an impact sub, I think he would be great. He brings experience, and I think he should be given a chance.
Yeah, Dan, if your room's quiet enough to answer, do you think Chris Maguire is someone that we should definitely be starting or bringing on?
No, I don't think we should start him, to be honest. I don't think he's as good as everyone this season. I don't think he's been that good, to be honest. But I do see him coming off the bench, and I do like that. 20 minutes to go, getting him on, I've got no problem with that. But I wouldn't be starting him, as I don't think he's fit. He's a very fit player, but he's got quality. So if you need that in the last 15, 20 minutes, then albeit I'm all for it going on. But I think the whole team's just been poor this yesterday and not yesterday in the week. But I guess when Maguire's not playing, it's almost benefiting him, because if we keep losing when he's not playing, then if we ever have a case to say, oh, if I play, we might do better, we might win or whatever. Yeah, I do find it weird if you don't bring him on, but I wouldn't start him either, because he can't even last a half, I don't think. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, you're right in what you say. If we don't ever bring him on, then we'll never actually know. Do you know what I mean? But I think bringing him on is probably the best thing. And just if, for example, when we played Portsmouth in the playoffs, when we brought him on and he scored the volley, and that was actually the goal that took us to the playoff final. So this could possibly, I mean, if Maguire doesn't play tomorrow, and we don't get to the final, then that's Maguire's Sunderland career over. That it probably could be, because I don't really see us. It will be.
Yeah, new deal.
No one's getting a new deal. So if it's the last game ever, then chuck him on. He's got nothing to lose. Do you know what I mean? He's good. He'll throw everything at it. So I probably think that's probably the best thing we could do. I'll just head back to the live chat. We've got Acacia Cameron Jude saying, "Hey, Alyssa."
Hi.
She didn't say hi to me or Dan. Anyway, Joanne said, "Hey, everyone." Well, hey.
Yeah, see Joanne today.
Joanne's nice. Chris Scott says, "More fight and Matthew kicking chairs over than our team." Well, yes. When Lincoln scored their second goal, I did get a little bit angry and kick a chair. Yes. Anyway, Chris Scott just saying, "No driving the team totally flat." Lauren Kenny, we need Maguire to start tomorrow. Gary say I'm not talking to Matthew. I have sent Gary the link now, so if Gary wants to come on, he can come on, because it doesn't look like Graham is going to turn up anyway. I think he said hello. I'm so tired, man. He said he'll come on, but I think he's having his Friday night evening drink. So yes. Lauren Kenny asking, did I meet up with Ethan when I was up? No, I was going to actually, but he was playing cricket. He plays cricket to a very good level, Ethan does. So No, I didn't. He missed the game as well. And AJJ saying, realistically, it will be a bit of a damp squib tomorrow. And there we go. Acacia saying, hi, Matthew and Dan. Thank you very much, Acacia. And also, Kate Edwards. Hello. Right. Also today, I've seen, or it could have been today or yesterday, Conor McLaughlin put on his Instagram that his season is over. Now, is that his Sunderland career over, do you think, as well? Because I think he's only contracted to 2 years, and this is the end of his second year. So with Conor McLaughlin out for the rest of the season, Alyssa, do you think that's his Sunderland career over as well?
Probably. I mean, he's been quite good this season. I'll give it to him. He's really surprised us. But I think KLD and I think Lee Johnson will want to bring in his own players. He'll have his own ideas. I like how Lee Johnson is bringing a lot of new technology to the club. I think it's a good practice. I know he was talking about getting an app and using this new scouting process, which I think is very interesting. But I think they'll want to bring in. I think they'll want to bring in. He'll want to bring in some of his own players. I think. But yeah, it's been very good this season. I'll give that to him.
Yeah, definitely, and I think he's actually been sort of one of the main players, and he's really stood out for us when everyone else is a bit flat. I think he's always someone who we can rely on, who's been very stable, who hasn't been much of a liability, and I think whenever he gets the ball, I think he's always very comfortable in it and doesn't really give it away. You know, he's very calm when everyone else is running around and erratic and all over the place. You know, like your Jack Diamonds who come on and run in every direction possible. But Conor McLaughlin is very calm in his position. I think he's good. Before I ask Dan, Gary, you've come on. I've made sure you get on and get your face on the screen. How are you this evening, Gary?
I'm all right, guys. It's good to see you. I've only come on to give you the silent treatment. You know that, don't you, Matthew? I'm
goodbye.
Nothing. I watched earlier and you were talking about Maguire. And I've got to say, I know just how Chris Maguire feels. Because brought off the bench as a late replacement for Graham. I mean, that's desperate, isn't it?
Yeah. At least you got on. He didn't get on.
Yeah. I've only got 10 minutes anyway, to be honest, but I thought I'd make an appearance.
All right. Okay. Well, in that case, Gary, tell us sort of briefly what you thought about the game on Wednesday, and sort of, are you confident for tomorrow's game? And are you going as well to tomorrow's game? Did you manage to get?
No, I couldn't get a ticket, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would have loved to have been there. Yeah. To answer your question, I mean, I'm still recovering from the other night. It's just so typical Sunderland. I mean, they've taken a slating on social media, but I don't think we played bad. We just didn't convert our chances, did we? And, you know, it's comedy defending for both goals. And so we're going to tomorrow, and I think the thing for me is people are saying, oh, we've got 10,000 fans there and they'll make a difference. That'll work one of both ways for me, because if we do get an early lead, let's say in the first 20 minutes, then it could be lift-off. You know, it could really make a difference. On the other hand, if Lincoln frustrate us and play it tight, and if they've got any sense that's what they'll do, I think we could see the fans getting frustrated. And the players who we've got used to, you know, not turning up and hiding, I think that might happen tomorrow. So it can only go one of two ways for me. We either turn up, make a game of it, and maybe win on penalties, or we don't turn up, and I can see a Lincoln win at worst, because it'd be typical Sunderland to do that. But I'm not confident. Even for me, old misery guts, I'm not confident.
No. I see where you're coming from with that. I just, as well, while you're here as well, Gary, I think me and you have a little bit of disagreement in the sort of group chat that we're in about a certain goalkeeper.
I knew that was coming.
Can I ask? Obviously, with the mistake, whose mistake do you think it was? Do you think it was Flanagan or Burge?
Right, okay. Before I answer that, I will hold my hands up and say I've got kind of a bit of a bias here because my youngest son is a goalkeeper. He plays an under-16s team. So I'm a bit protective of keepers generally because I think people do seize on their mistakes and the hesitation. It can only make one bad decision.
I was a goalkeeper as well, by the way.
Oh, you really? All right,
Yeah.
okay. I'll have to cut you some slack then. I mean, with Burge the other night, he did make two great saves. The one I think he tipped over, and then he made another one as well. I think it was a block, and I think he gets undue criticism. That's just a personal view as a League One goalkeeper. To answer your question, in terms of the error, it's 50-50 for me. But I'm not, letting Burge off at all. Once he's, he has to be on his toes. And once he's got that poor back pass, whether you put it out for a corner or, whatever you do, just don't hit it straight back at the man. That was silly. But, yeah, it was caused by a poor back pass. So it's 50-50 for me. They both take the blame for it. It was instigated by Flanagan, but Burge could have made a better job of it. And apart from that, I thought he had a good game. But as the keeper, he'll take stick. I do know that.
I think it's a difficult thing because I think people can go, well, the saves that he's made this season or whatever, but the problem is with Burge, he makes mistakes too often, right? He'll make a good save, but he makes it too often, and we could count up. We could literally count up from his mistakes, right? 25 possible points. Yeah, if he just defended something, even like the mistakes that he's done where he saved something or just pushed it out right in front of him and it's gone in, gone.
I mean, I'm on your side here, but I could also add, if you looked at every chance we've had, or what Wyke's had, or O'Brien's had this season, how many chances they've missed in front of goal?
I know what you mean.
I don't agree with you, but I'm just saying, like, other people make mistakes as well. Obviously,
you can only choose one goalkeeper. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. I know that Lee Burge is the best that we have now. I completely accept that, but I don't understand why people would say that he's good enough for the Championship. But with mistakes like that, and my dad's saying as well, no team have ever won anything with a bad goalkeeper. Because you've got to rely on it. And Lee Johnson said it after the game. He said there were five players who played today with the desire and they really wanted to win. But then also there were about five, and then obviously 5 or 6 people who just weren't really in the game. But you've got to have everyone in the game. That's the thing, because if everyone's in the game, then you like, if you're really in a game and your teammate's not, it's a team game. It's not an individual game. And you can't rely on your teammates. Go on, Alyssa.
I was going to say, I think it's the classic saying, isn't it? You have 10 people before you get to the goalkeeper. Flanagan, that back pass, I think it put Burge under a lot of pressure. He should have probably played it into the stands. But it's like you can't just blame the goalkeeper. Obviously, your goalkeeper is probably only as good as your defence, and the defenders need to take responsibility as well.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah. Just in terms of those errors, Matthew,
yeah,
I can think of the errors he made. He gave a stupid penalty away against Bristol Rovers, first 3 minutes of the season. He flapped at that cross against Hull. Having said that, he got taken off at half-time, so he clearly had some, whether it was concussion or just lost a bit of confidence. He obviously made the error at Blackpool. He's made his fair share of errors. There's one or two where I'd say, hang on a minute, in real time, I'm not looking at action replays, in real time, and maybe he's blocked by people. He's made a reaction. He's not as good as John McLaughlin, I accept that. But I don't think, for me, maybe it's 5 mistakes across the season. He's not that bad. For a League One inconsistent journeyman goalkeeper. He's also clearly a confidence player. On the other hand, I can think, Lincoln away in the league, he kept 2 early chances out. He's made some great saves. He made a fantastic save against Gillingham earlier on in the season. Exceptionally good at some shot saving. I think he's good at coming off his line. But yeah, he's made some fundamental errors as well. But that's why he's playing at League One.
Yeah.
If we go up, I would prefer another goalkeeper coming in. But I just think some of the stick he gets is out of proportion.
Yeah. Just want to say this is actually not me. My dad's.
You've been hacked.
Yeah. That's what they
It's his dad, isn't it?
Honestly, we're on this chat that we have with some of the people we used to go to games with, and his dad loves a little Verge.
Jesus, man. Tell him to sign out. Yeah, it was Honeyman, Gooch, Jack Diamond, and now it's Lee Burge. My dad has these things about each player. He's still doing it. I promise you, it's not me. My phone.
It's your dad. It's your dad. I need to take this up with, isn't it, Matthew?
He needs to come up here, and if he wants to say it himself, right? No, look. To be honest, Lee Burge. Look, I get every goalkeeper makes mistakes, right? Every goalkeeper does, but when he does it every single game, and maybe he won't make a mistake that leads to a goal, but it's really bad, like, technique from him. You know what I mean? Like how he would save a shot, but I keep saying, but push it out straight in front of him. That doesn't, and just the example of that actually going wrong is against Lincoln in the Papa John's semi-final, where he saved out right in front of him, and then Scully scored. You know, that is just an example of just that. When he keeps doing that, that just shows that he's actually not like a good goalkeeper. But that just the examples of that means that he's just not a very good goalkeeper. But look, I think in terms of the mistake to lead to 2-0, the one thing, like, you didn't want Burge to do, he did it. That's kick it out right at the player. You know what I mean? Just kick it out for a corner or a throw in. And I understand he only had about maybe half a second to actually make that decision. But as a professional, footballer or whatever, you can't just kick the ball straight at someone like that or risk. For me, you can't take any risks at your own goal. Maybe if you're a striker, you take risks because you've still got like 9 or 10 players behind you. If you're a goalkeeper, there's no one behind you, and if he's taking those risks, then that's happened. But anyway, we'll move on from the.
Just might see if you like my wrapping it up is for a lot of footballers, and I'm thinking the Flanagans of this world and the Burges and plenty of others. The reason they're in this division is because they're inconsistent. Some of them are not bad players. On their day, I actually thought Flanagan had a good first half. Oh, here we go.
It's cost us 27 points.
Where's these 11 errors then?
And if he only made half those errors, we'd be promoted.
11?
You don't
11. I can think of maybe 5.
With a poor goalkeeper who makes mistakes nearly every game, but 11 huge mistakes. We've been in the league 10 times, and we failed to win 7 of them. His errors. He's cost us promotion.
So I can only... I've got no comeback here. Like arguing with my wife.
He'll be listening, Gary. Go on.
Right. Well, I remember 5 errors off the top of my head, and I've watched Burge every game. And again, because my son plays keeper, I watch him pretty closely. I can't see 11 errors, so that's the difference between what we're seeing. But what I was going to say is, in terms of a lot of players in this team, they're inconsistent. When Johnson comes out and talks about lack of confidence with certain players, and I think back to watching Jack Baldwin on the Netflix series as well, some of these players are where they are because they're inconsistent. Yeah. They can't maintain a certain standard of football. They practice every day. They played at international level, like Sir Flanagan and 1 or 2 others, but they can't maintain that. They've all got an error in them or a mistake, or 1 week they just absolutely go missing. That's where we are in terms of the type of footballers. And clearly, if we go up to the Championship, beyond that, if we get back to the Premiership, we need better footballers, not League One journeymen, which is kind of pretty much what we've got now, right through the whole team, with one exception, and that's McGeady, who's 35 and on his last legs. So anyway,
Yeah,
that's me.
and also with McGeady as well. It's been released today that the news that if he starts tomorrow, it triggers an extra 12 months on his contract because of 30 starts. So, do you think we'll see him start tomorrow, or do you think we'll keep him on the bench, and then we have the opportunity to start Maguire if he maybe starts on the bench? Gary, what would you do tomorrow?
Obviously, I don't know the ins and outs of the contract thing. Again, it's one of those things where disappointing thing or aspect of it for me is that we've left it till now. Why is this only just come out? Why are we talking about it within 24 hours of the game? That looks to me like rank bad management at some level, whether it's the boardroom or it's been missed in the handover. If we've allowed this situation to happen, surely somebody should have been ahead of it and come up with some sort of compromise with McGeady. I mean, we know we're in the playoffs, over 2 weeks ago after we beat Plymouth? Yeah. Probably could have guessed even a week before. You sit down, you have the conversation, see what negotiations are needed. I mean, if it comes to a standoff, it comes to a standoff, and somebody has to make a decision. And I've got to say that, the club has to do the right thing by the club, and no one player is bigger than that. But the fact we've left it last minute, I don't know, it tells me a little bit that things might not be great behind the scenes in terms of negotiations. And I don't just mean with McGeady, I mean any player whose contract is up. So that's not good.
Yeah. Well, I think we've got to remember when McGeady signed this contract, it was at the end of the 18-19 season. So we just lost the playoff final, and with Jack Ross as the manager. So I think after that, McGeady was sort of our main player. He was banging form, like he was in form, and he was really good up until he broke his foot. And I think after that we just extended his contract because I'm sure everyone thought, and they put the extra 12 months at the end because they thought of his age and the fact McGeady said, with me being at the time maybe 33 years old. My kids go to school in the Northeast. We live here, my family, we're all settled here. We don't really want to be moving about anywhere like that because he's not young enough to do that anymore. So they thought, well, we'll give you an extra year, and then because they thought, well, we'll definitely be in at least the championship by then. We'll just offer you another 12, another 12 months, because if you still got, the football in you or whatever, and we're in a better league and, the funds are a little bit better, I don't think they ever would have thought that we'd still be in League One. And now we are at this situation again. Dan, what do you think? Do you think it'd be worth starting him tomorrow and he'd get an extra 12 months?
Regardless, I think you just got to play your best team, in my opinion. Regardless of all the ins and outs of it, and he's been our best player this season, in my opinion. Yes, I don't think he had his best game on Wednesday. Did miss a few very good chances for us, but without him, I'm not being funny, but we wouldn't be anywhere near the playoffs. Without him, White wouldn't have scored 25 goals. Like White would have probably been about how many he's assisted White like nearly 10 times or something in the league, which is mental. So especially it's looking increasingly like we're going to be in League One next season. So I would probably give him another 12 months. But I think Lee Johnson said in the press conference he's not been told that we can't start him. So he can. He's been told he can start him. I'm pretty sure that's what he said in the press conference. Right. So I'm pretty confident he will start, and hopefully he will be on his game, because when he's on his game, he's different class in this league.
Guys, I'm going to need to drop off. Good to see you all. Fingers crossed for tomorrow. It could be a very miserable weekend if it doesn't go our way. So just hope they turn up, and enjoy it. You guys are going, aren't you? Dan, you're going to the match tomorrow, aren't you?
I've given my tickets to Matthew because I'm going. Well, I couldn't get up there because my brother's playing. My dad always takes him. But I'm going to Wembley instead because my local team's in the FA Vals final.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah, who's your local team?
Binfield,
right.
See,
it doesn't go right to Sunderland.
Should be playing in that match. McFadzean should be playing in that match tomorrow, done for Binfield. That's who he should be playing for.
I think he'd still struggle.
He would.
Are you going, Alicia, tomorrow?
Yeah. So hopefully it won't be like pelting it down, because I'm looking out my window now. It's not looking very promising. Me and my dad will sit there probably freezing. We'll try sneak a flask or something in. So.
Oh, well, I'm very jealous of. At least you get to go to the game, so I'm very jealous.
He makes us hide it in me.
Have you got anything on you? Oh, I got a flask.
Got a flask.
I've got a flask.
Right, I'm going, guys. Enjoy the game tomorrow.
See
I'll
you
speak to you
later.
later.
See you
Take
guys.
care.
See you later. Oh, excellent. Right then, where were we? Where were we? We're talking about McGeady. I'll just give my opinion on it. Actually, I think I've been saying this in my head, where people have been talking about Sanderson, whether we should sign Sanderson, what's happening with Wyke, keep him or sell him. And you know what? I'm not even thinking about next season. I'm just thinking about this season. Like, next season is irrelevant for me. I don't even care about next season yet. We've got 1 or 2 games left. Let's just focus. We know we've got at least 1. If we're lucky, we'll have 2. But let's just focus on this. And let's throw the kitchen sink. If it's going to cost us however much more money or whatever, and surely if we go up to the Championship, our funds are going to be better, which can pay for McGeady's contract. Or we might have a thing where it would be he'll end it with mutual consent, just like how Cattermole left the club. You know, he had like an extra 2 years or something. Cattermole's contract was meant to expire this summer. So, yeah.
So I think they could have done is, I guess what you could have done is you could technically release him and then just offer him, once he's a free agent, just offer him a contract on lesser money than he was before, if you know what I mean? Instead of, but obviously, if you trigger the extension, I'm guessing you have to pay him the same amount that he has been on the last however many seasons. But I see him start. I think he will start tomorrow, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. All right, I just want to say as well, thank you very much to Joanne for the $4.99 donation. Love the channel, guys. Thank you very much, Joanne. That means means a lot. Hopefully Paul doesn't use that £5 to buy himself another McDonald's, and we keep it saved up. AJJ just saying McGeady sold up at Durham, moved to Sedgefield. Alyssa, do you know where Sedgefield is?
I can't say, me like geography's great, but I know he did used to live behind the Ramside, the golf course in Belmont. That's where he used to live, in one of the big houses behind there. So
Civil Parish in County Durham.
Civil Parish. Okay, as long as it's in the northeast, he hasn't moved anywhere else.
It's near.
If anyone knows, just leave a comment.
South of Durham. It's south of Durham. Just
South of Durham. South of Durham. All right.
It's in between Middlesbrough and Durham.
Okay. I know a few players. I think Ledbetter lives in Teesside, and so does so does Wyke as well. Yeah, Aaron as well. Just saying that Sedgefield is in Durham. Okay then. Where else? Anyone who got any questions? Just get them in. Send them in.
Also, all I've got is I've come to say. Did you see the Wolves manager is leaving at the end of the season?
Yes.
So we'll have a new manager to try and impress. I guess it'll be probably another Portuguese manager by the sounds of it. I thought it was a weird one because unless he's off to Spurs or something.
Yeah, I heard people saying Spurs, but I thought he was doing quite well. Yeah. It's a bit of a strange one.
Yeah, it is a strange one.
What I like about him is that I think he's the only manager I've ever known that he was actually a goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's so weird when people said that. When I first heard that, I was shocked. But we beat them 3-0 last year of the season, didn't we? And I think we drew them away as well. Was it 0-0?
No, and Cattermole was so we were down to 10 men.
We were unbeaten against the champions. I think we prevented them getting 100 points as well, if I'm correct. I think they ended on 99. So
was the Wolves game when? Oh, sorry. I was going to say, was the Wolves game when when Barley Mumba came on and he captained the team for like the last? Yeah, thought so.
Yeah, it was that game. I don't really know if he would come to League One, to be honest with you. He's done.
No, if I was going to say actually. Do you remember Ashley Fletcher?
Do you just want to host the thing, Dan?
No, I'm trying to. I've got good topics of conversation. You know Ashley Fletcher. Obviously, we had him on loan in the Championship.
Oh yeah, that good striker.
He's signed he's signing for Watford on a free.
On a free.
I don't know how his agents got that one, but yeah, he'll be in the Premier League next season.
Well, I mean, he was actually doing quite well at Middlesbrough, wasn't he? Like
Yeah,
when he went
he
back
was.
there.
To be fair, when we had him, he was really young, and he was I'm not being funny. He was playing in one of the worst Championship teams. But not on paper, but like when you watched us play, we were awful. To this day, I still think that season's the worst, or the most depressing season.
Yeah.
It was just unimaginable how bad and how just dire it was especially at the home games as well. What with the shit seats, there was no one there.
Yeah.
The pink
That's the most depressing time, I think, because even at least in League One, you do win some games, but in the Championship, we were just getting beaten every week by just teams that weren't even that good. And the keepers that season as well. I mean,
Lee Camp.
to make Lee Burge look like fucking prime Yashin, like, honestly. But yeah,
I was just gonna say I can.
Go on.
I was just say I can remember the opening game of that season, the Derby game where we drew 1-1, and we were like, oh, this might be a decent season, this, you know.
and we won as well.
Maybe
We beat
even in the
Norwich.
playoffs or something.
We
Went
beat
all
Norwich as
downhill
well.
from there, didn't it?
Yeah. Norwich was the second game of the season. That was the first away game. Derby
Yeah,
was.
that's what I'm saying. We beat Norwich, so
Yeah.
we drew with Derby, then we beat Norwich, and we thought, oh, all right, 4 points from 2 games, take that. And then from then on,
well.
oh my goodness, we must have only got about another 20 points, was it, or something? Maybe not even that.
It was something like that. Yeah, we only won more a handful of games, and then Ashley Fletcher, he was rubbish, and then suddenly against Derby, he went on this run, beating 3 players, and then just smashed it.
That's a goal.
And he ran off, and he was behind the goal, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Where's this come from?"
Absolutely pissing it down that day, wasn't it?
I know. I went to I think I went to New York the next day as well. I would have rather have been in Derby watching Sunderland, though, to be honest. Right, where are we now? We've got a £5 donation from Carl Mawson. Thank you very much, Carl.
You've been called up, Matthew.
Matthew, are you looking forward in playing in the chat? Hang on a minute. How does everyone know that I'm playing in the charity game? And there hasn't even been a tweet to announce my
Breaking
arrival.
news.
So I think we need to confirm this by putting out a tweet, Carl, than just putting it here, because we can't officially announce it like this. Also, as well, I need to agree on how many years I want the deal to be, too.
You've got to get your bonuses in as well, mate.
Definitely, I want to get my goal bonuses in. Yeah. Right then, so I am looking forward to the game on August the 15th as well. Yes, I'll try and come up for a week. Work probably won't like that, but I'm going to come up for a week.
Live there, mate. I'm not being funny. The amount of time you're up there.
I know. I feel like I'm there more than my own house sometimes. I literally come back yesterday and we're going back tomorrow morning. It's mental.
Morning?
Tomorrow. Did I say it like that?
Yeah.
See, I'm up there. That's how many times I'm up there. I'm saying it like a Macam now. Right then, Palmer has not kept a clean sheet in over 20 Christmas. Can someone tell me who Palmer is, please?
Lincoln's goalie.
Lincoln. So we found out that Ben Amos from Charlton's better.
Should we go through all the clubs in the league and just say,
yeah, let's go through the clubs in the league.
Right, Hull. Their goalie's
Hull,
long, isn't
they have their keeper's better.
He looks like Lee Burge, actually.
Well, he's probably not very good then.
Yeah, he's better. Peterborough.
Much. Well, even when he could only have one arm in that game, I thought
he was quite shit there, goalie.
Okay, he's not very good then. I'd rather have Burge.
Blackpool, I thought that keeper was quality.
Yeah, Blackpool's was kept them in the game. Yeah.
Lincoln, yeah, I'd probably say.
Yeah.
Oxford, who's their goalie again? Simon, someone, isn't it?
It wasn't the one who headbutted Jamie McAllister, was it?
Simon Eastwood.
It was. It was, wasn't he? Jamie McAllister
Stevens.
headbutted the goalkeeper.
Jack Stevens.
Yeah, I think that was it.
I don't really know much about him, so I can't really. Because I think they had 2 goalies that have sort of played half the games each.
Yeah.
Charlton, Ben Amos was quality.
He was really good.
Portsmouth, yeah.
McGillivray, yeah. Did you see him even though they lost it, the Papa John's Trophy final for them in the 2021 that they played in 2021 the day before ours? He was brilliant in that match. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just they lost them penalties. It kept them in it.
Ipswich, that Thomas Holy bloke. I remember he played for Gillingham, didn't he? And in the first season in League One, he played for Gillingham. When we played them at home, he was quality for them because he's about 6'9" or something ridiculous. So anything up high, he just could catch, but anything on the ground, he was struggling.
What about Charlton? Who said Charlton?
Yeah.
Ben Amos.
Ah, yeah.
I'm doing it in the league order, so I'll be done.
I keep going down. I've got about 15 minutes to kill.
Are we still going? Are we?
I keep going, yeah.
All right, we've got Gillingham. I don't even know who their goalie is.
He's better.
Jack Bonham. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, it's good.
Accrington. No, their keeper was shit. That young lad, he was awful. Did you see the one he let it against Ross Stewart?
Wait. But Accrington, didn't they have their that was the emergency loan, wasn't it?
No.
Was it not? So when did
No,
they
it
have
was-
the emergency? Oh, was
No,
that that was for the home game, wasn't it?
He was on loan at Accrington last season, Joseph Bursick, not this season.
Wait, was this Bursick the same Bursick that was at Doncaster? Where that roller coaster guy said he was
Yeah.
in his prime.
So, I couldn't tell you, but Bursick this season, he went on loan at Donny the start of the season. Then he was recalled for Stoke. And he played
Stoke,
for like 12 games or something. And then since he's been on loan to Peterborough and Lincoln. And last season, he was on loan at Accrington Stanley. So I was looking him up the other day. But Accrington's goalie is Toby Savin or something. And I didn't think he was great. He's only about 19 though, so fair enough. Crew. Some of these people haven't got a clue.
Hey. That rhyme that did crew clue.
Oh, it's William Jaskilainen. He's
Oh, Jaskilainen's
Jaskilainen's son.
he said his brother, son.
He wasn't great. He was average.
This list
MK
is really
Dons.
well done.
MK Dons. Do you want me to carry on?
No, I keep going.
MK Dons was a bit weird because he plays like a sweeper, doesn't he?
I don't know, was he?
He plays like really high up, and that's why they concede some goals, like weird goals sometimes.
Yeah. That was also speaking of MK Dons, Lee Burge. I think their first goal. It was his like bad. Get in! Go on, there you go. Let's to confirm it.
Breaking news: Jim White of Sky Sports.
Where is it? Hang on.
It's like
So,
transfer deadline day. It's tense.
I know. Graham was putting that in the thing. Carl should put that to his new profile picture. That should have Jim White. Yes, breaking news.
The yellow tie out, classic.
Yeah. Have you got a yellow tie, Dan?
My dad's probably got one somewhere.
All right.
Got a black and gold one. It's like a
Bird.
bumblebee.
All
Aaron
right.
says, how do you rate the Swindon keeper? We all know who that is.
Oh, Lee Camp.
All right, here's one for you, right?
Yeah.
You've got Lee Camp, you've got Lee Burge, you've got Rory Matthews, Jason Steele, and Robin Reuter, whatever you want to say. Who's the worst keeper out of those five? And who's the best?
So out of did you say Remy Matthews as well?
Rory Matthews, Lee Burge, and
Yeah, and the three from the
three
championship.
from the championship season.
I'd say Alyssa Gonyuatswell, I think.
I would say Lee Camp was probably the worst. It was his hair as well. It was just disgusting. It was absolutely disgusting. Best,
He's offended everyone with long hair.
but it was great. No, it just wasn't. So him.
Oh, well, Matthew, hold up, mate. You're not permanently signed, mate. You've got to have a trial first.
Are
You're
you
not in yet,
out
mate.
of your mind? I need to do a trial. A trial? What do you want me to do? Kick a ball in a goal?
You get your best swads techers out. You know what I mean?
Oh man, come on, Carl. We played five-a-side, and I scored a header against you. A header in five-a-side. Come on, man. If that doesn't prove anything, I don't know what does. I apparently need to do a trial. So Alyssa, Lee Camp was the worst one, and the best one out of them five.
Probably, I would say personally between Lee Burge or Reuter. I don't really know. I just keep thinking of like, where was it? Lee Burge played in the 5-4 Coventry game. Was it him who played?
Yeah.
Because he was shocked. Like he was absolutely shocked.
Shocking.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Who thought? Because that was towards the end of the season. That was April because I was in Spain. That was towards the end of the season. Who went and thought, do you know what? He's just conceded 4 goals against us. But we'll sign him anyway.
Like I was
It's
watching
like-
that game thinking, thank God he's not our keeper.
It's like on Sunderland Till I Die when they were reading out all the massive list of injuries Johnny Williams had, and they're like, yeah, perfect, great, sign him. It was like,
It's like the bloody imbeciles running the club. We honestly did. People like they did not have an effing clue. I'm not going to swear again, but they didn't have a clue, mate. Honestly, some of the players, Ibrahimovic was on the list.
oh yeah. They were in the pod and was like, are you having a laugh? He was like, Ibrahimovic. Where are we going to get the money to afford him?
Oh, there you go. So there's 20 quid donation
Only
from
one Sean Middleton.
Sean Middleton.
Doesn't really work,
Yeah.
does it?
Thank you very much, Sean, for that. Do you know, out of my everyone give us your answers. I had an in. Don't make excuses, Carl. Come on. You should have used your other arm to save it. Come on, man. Don't mess up. Don't start making excuses. Right. So you need to give your worst and best as well, Dan. It's a good question. I'd say my worst out of them is probably Robin Reuter, and the best one is probably Lee Burge. Do you want a reason as well? Or...
Go on, then.
Do you know? I'd say the Reuter was the worst because I put it back to the Millwall game at home where he literally conceded 2 identical goals from their free kick. Like, because we all thought that the first time was like, how on earth did he not save that? It was a free kick, and then when Reuter dives, he doesn't dive full stretch. He dives like half away with his hands, and he went like that, and the post was like, oh no, it just trickled in, and everyone's going, Reuter, man, that is awful. And then he did it exactly the same again, and we went, this is awful. First of all, how do you do it one? That is the worst thing they've ever seen, worst mistake ever they've ever seen. And he did it again. He did it again. So for me, Reuter was probably the worst for me. And then, look, to be honest with you, Lee Burge probably is the best out of all of them, to be honest with you, with how bad. I mean, Jason still remember when he handballed it outside of his own box against QPR and got a red card for that.
I thought a bit sorry for him though, because he seemed a bit, because obviously they did a bit more detail on the documentary, and in fact, he was quite young for a goalie then, I guess. That's the only thing I would say. The other two,
25.
No, but that is young. That is quite young for a goalie because they played till about 40.
Yeah.
So you see, do you know what I mean? No, but what I'm saying is compared to Reuter and Camp, who were like 35 or whatever. But yeah, they were all awful. And you're right. How could we have 3 goalies that were just in that season that were just all so bad? Also, why did we have 3 goalies in the first place? Is what I want to know.
Because every single one of them was bad. They were like, I bet in training, like we literally started a different goalkeeper every week. We just didn't know who to start.
The one, as you said earlier, you have to have. The one thing you have to have is a consistent first choice goalie who you play every week in, week out. Look at Liverpool when they lost the Champions League to Real Madrid. Karius had just about got through all the rest of the competition, and he'd made mistakes along the way and made mistakes in the league, and at the end of the day, he cost them in the end because they got to that stage with him and he just about did a good enough job, but the mistakes were there. I mean, we knew that he wasn't up to it, and in the final, look what he did, an absolute howler.
He literally rolled the ball out in front of Benzema.
I mean, one of the worst mistakes I've ever seen in goalkeeping history, that in the biggest game of his career, and since then he's completely just nothing. So you've got to have a good goalie. Like honestly, you look at, as you said, like the best teams, mate. You could look at any team. You don't win leagues. You don't get promoted with bad goalies. We got relegated them. But do you want to know my best and worst?
Yeah, go on.
I mean, I asked a question. I don't even have a clue, to be honest with you.
You tell us that.
The fact that we're saying Burge is the best shows how how bad the rest of them are. By the way, probably, to be fair, I don't think I'm back. I'm in Rory Matthews corner here. You know, I'm back in Rory Matthews a bit here. You know, I might even say Rory Matthews. Look at Matthews' face.
As the best.
I'm winding you up, man. But to be fair to Matthews, he's been decent in the past. He was decent with Bolton in the Championship, but like this season he was awful. Like he dropped everything. But these days the keepers just can't catch. Like I genuinely played with my mate Pat from school, who got released by Reading when he was 16 or whatever. He's better than any of those goalies. Like he's better than Lee Burge. I'm telling you right now, his hands are a joke. People like that. Like there's so many better. I feel like younger goalies these days are much better. Even Anthony Patterson, I'd say Anthony Patterson, we may as well start him next season or have him as a second goalie. Because if we can get an emergency loan anyway, then what's the point of playing two goalies? Do you know what I mean? They just cheat the system, these clubs. They pay they don't even like Lincoln, they didn't even play a goalie full because Alex Palmer's on loan and then they got an 18-year-old kid on the bench who must be on peanuts a week. So just we only need one really, number one, and Anthony Patterson can be number two in my opinion. Anyway, I'd probably say Lee Burge is the best, and I'd probably say
You sport for choice here, Dan.
it could be any of them, man. I mean, I think I'd say Lee Camp, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because for Reuter, I'd say Lee Camp because he was just consistently. I remember the Bristol City game, Bristol, as we say. He was horrendous. The first goal, I can't remember quite what he did, but he dropped it or something, and then he didn't go out to him. And I don't even remember, but he was just abysmal. And also, he was about 5'7". He was the smallest goalkeeper I've ever seen. I genuinely question how he makes it how someone that made it as a pro. But yeah, I'd say Lee Camp was probably the worst.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think size matters, to be honest with you. I mean, you have you can have. I mean, like Chris Turner, for example, he was a small keeper, but he was brilliant. Do you know what I mean? Like he was fantastic.
You're trying to tell us something there, Matthew. Or...
No, I'm trying to tell you that. I mean, even I was a small goalkeeper, and I was still pretty good. Do you know what I mean? So. Nah, that's what I think. I don't think it really matters because you can be small, but you can jump really high. Do you know what I mean? Like Luke O'Neill isn't that tall, but you see how high he can jump. I know
some of the aerial duels and that he wins.
Oh, he could literally jump. He could literally jump 20 feet. He's fantastic. Gary's just saying sorry.
2-1 up, by the way.
Are they? That's good. Sorry, I had to drop off, guys. I had to take a call from Lee. He wants me to be his agent. Oh, right. Okay. I think he also said as well, where are we? And Matthew, tell your dad we will continue that conversation after Burge saves 3 penalties in the shootout tomorrow to send us to him. I had a vision that we're in the playoff final and we're in a penalty shootout and it's like sudden death and comes to Lee Burge and he scores the winning penalty. That if that happens, then we'll take it. We'll take it all back.
It'll be 1-1. It'll be 1-1 as well after extra time.
Yeah.
Well, we've got to get promoted from a 1-1. I mean, that would just be.
That would just be the right story there. Carlos is saying everyone has to complete a trial before we can make anyone permanent, as we want to do this right. Well, I understand that, mate, but you should know that I'm a quality footballer. Yeah. I'm a quality footballer. If you want me to send you videos from my garden of me whipping some crosses, I don't get any crosses in my garden, but any goals or anything like that, mate, you just let me know. But yeah, I'll do a trial. I don't know when I'm meant to be doing a trial. Apparently, Embleton has scored down for.
Yeah, he did. And Dougal as well. 2-1 up there.
Dougal. Right. Gary would say Would rate Reuter above Matthews myself, but otherwise spot on. Jimmy. I don't know who Jimmy is. Jimmy Paddy. So
Who's Jimmy?
where am I? Where am I? Sorry, I'm just scrolling through all of this. If I've missed you out, I do apologize. Yeah, everyone, let us know what your best or worst keeper is. But actually, save it because we've hit the hour mark, and I think this is all we sort of plan to do. We've just sort of had a nice chat about what's going on with the playoffs and for tomorrow. But before we go, can we all have?
Okay, I get it now.
What?
Jimmy's in the chat, and Gary was replying to Jimmy.
Yes, I know. That's what I said.
That's what he's just said.
Oh, exactly.
Sorry.
He's just not listening to me, are you, Dan? You're just not listening.
Sorry.
Yeah. Right, Dan. Tell us your score prediction for tomorrow.
Oh, I want to say 1-1 so bad. Do you know what I want to say? I want to say Sunderland 1.
Right, well, that's over then. Doesn't matter. Our season's over. Alyssa, your score prediction.
I think we're going to win 3-0. You know, be optimistic.
If we win 3-0, I'll get. What do you want me to do? I'll do something if we win 3-0 because I'm so confident we won't. Go on, tell me something.
Put it in the comments. Someone suggest something in the comments.
What do you want Dan to do?
I'm going 1-1.
You got to keep the faith. You got to keep the faith. You know what I mean? Even if it's unrealistic.
Have you seen those players, man? I'm not being funny. They're fucking dreadful.
Skinheads. That's what AJJ is saying. Skinhead. I
No,
personally
no,
I don't want to see Dan lose his hair. To be honest with you,
I'm not losing my hair.
I don't want to see that. No. We've already got Paul here. That's bad.
I've got a haircut next week as well. So
tattoo of Matthew on your bottom. Haha. He's actually already got that. So
yeah. Sorry.
Your brother says a tattoo of Lee Birch.
If we get promoted, I'll something to do with Lee Bird. I'll buy a Lee Bird shirt. I'll buy a Lee Bird shirt with my own money.
With your own money. All right. Fair enough. All right. And my score prediction. I want to say.
No.
See, I actually said 4-1.
To Lincoln. On aggregate, yeah.
To Sunderland. No, I want to say 4. It's going to be 4-1 to Sunderland tomorrow, and obviously win 4-3 on aggregate.
Stefan Sessegnon.
Billy Jones hat trick. I said Billy
Steven
Jones
Fletcher.
for a hat trick. So Billy Jones. That was fantastic. What else was I going to say? Yeah, no, I feel if it's going to be 3-0, it's going to be 3-0 or 4-1. If it's going to be 3-0, we're going to score a goal early in the game, then one before half time, and then the second half will be the most stressful half of football, but we'll get it right in the last second of the game and we'll be on the pitch. That's what I want to see. It'll be brilliant. Like first time back in the Stadium of Light and we go mental at some. That'd be fantastic if that can happen. But or we could just have a 4-1 game, go 3-0 up, go 4-1 up, and then 4-0 up, and then see Lincoln pull one back, and then it'll be stressful for the rest of the game. But anyway, yes, enough waffling. That's what I think. Either 4-1 or 3-0. I'm gonna go with 3-0. I'm gonna do it. I was gonna say 4-1, but no, I'm gonna change it to 3-0. So yes, that is go on, Dan.
Can I just ask one last question?
Yeah.
I saw a bit of angst on Twitter earlier about the left back position. Who would you start at left back?
McFadzean.
I was going to say, who else are you going to McFadzean now?
I think he's better than Vokins, to be honest with you.
It was the best. It was the first time I agree with Jason Ashford in my life. I think when he said he wanted to start McFadzean as well, because I would as well. Because I think who's on the fan socials.
Oh, that's what you should do, Dan. That's what you should do. Right? If you do anything, let Jason Ashman drop kick you in the face.
All right.
Let him do that.
Because whoever was on the who does the socials? Because they had Flanagan at left back, and I was thinking, not fucking left back for Flanagan.
Flanagan, mate, that long flappy thing. Imagine him at left back.
Whoa, Matthew, enough information, mate.
And what are you trying to say, mate? Look, McFadzine at left back. He's the right. Yeah, let's just get this over and done with. Yes, done.
He's so off the pace and out of position.
Who, McFadzine?
It almost doesn't look like bad, if you know what I mean, because he's genuinely he's like a part of play behind the current play. So like, there's just no left back, and he's still like rounding up the pitch or something. He's just so bad. But yeah, he's all we got, so we've got to play him. Unless we put Graham there, I reckon Graham would do a job.
What, left back in the pub.
Yeah,
left back in there.
Probably do a solid job, I reckon.
It is left-footed, isn't he? Yeah, no. So, but I think if you're going to be a left back, you've got to be small and fast. But that's sort of the left back that we've the modern day left back isn't he? He's a small, fast person who can get up and down the pitch. I think with Flanagan there, he's not very fast, so he'd just be sort of flapping around at left back. Do you know what I mean? I don't think I'd be inclined to that decision.
I was going to say, how tall's Kyril? He's there every week. Can he not fill in?
I know.
I was thinking, you must have. We signed that. Did you see we signed that young black kid left back, Ethan Kachoza or something?
It's a good way to describe him. The West Brom player.
No, he was another left back. We signed a guy from Leeds who played for the under 18s, and but that guy on trial actually. Now you mentioned him, he's a different guy. The guy from West Brom. He played left back in the under 23s game. He looked pretty decent actually.
All right. Yeah. Well, I think he did actually. I watched him against Stoke, and he did a few good Cruyff turns here and there and whatever.
He was strong as well. He was strong and quick. That whoever I don't know his name because he was a different.
He did look pretty injured though at the end. He did like just before the final whistle. He did look so injured to the point of which he actually couldn't walk. He had to hold on to about 2 or 3 people to get himself off the pitch, which looked a little bit. I thought, this is it, isn't it? Like this is just typical. We see someone who's played really, really well. He's got loads of skill and strong, and he's just like nearly like, I don't know, got a really bad injury at the end of the match. You think, God, there you go. But I don't know, kind of the story of the season, really, isn't it? Right then, Sophie Barnett saying we are going up. Imps fan. Well, thank you very much, Sophie, for that. If you don't mind leaving a like and subscribing,
I think Blackpool will batter anyone who's played against them. To be honest with you.
Yes. Well, look. Apart from tomorrow, we wish you the best of luck in the future. We're just saying that to be nice, but anyway,
it would be funny though if they set those flares off. Did you see that?
They set the flares off. Yeah.
Like they hadn't. They thought they won the league or something. I didn't get
that air raid siren was getting on me wick like every corner.
Yeah, I mean, it is a tiny club, I guess, at the end of the day.
Right, all right then. We'll get moving. All right then. Morgan Gray's a little bit late. He is. Look how smart he looks in that pic.
You met him, Matthew, as well, didn't you? On Wednesday?
I did. Yeah, I also met him as well when we played football. Yeah, I met Morgan after because he turned up after to help Sean do the interviews. So that's also something else we got on the channel as well. The interviews with Sean, which were very, very good as well. I just want to say after the game, we had some really, really good people come up and do the interviews, which we really did enjoy. I certainly enjoyed mine. I can't really remember anything from it. However, we had a good few people as well. The guy who was singing Super Billy Jones was one of my personal favourites. If you watch that back, you can actually hear me laughing in the background. But no, that was great. I had a great time, even though we did lose 2-0, but it was still good.
Super Billy Jones.
No. That's not how it goes. It's we signed him on a free. Who the is he?
Yeah, but I can I can sing what I want, mate.
All right then. Okay. Right, we'll leave you now. We've gone 11 minutes over scheduled. I need to go pack a bag when I go to Sunderland tomorrow morning.
It's not the only thing you'll be doing.
What? I'm going to watch the game as well. What else would I be doing?
Don't worry.
Actually, do you know what? Don't say it. I'm still live. Can you go away? Later. Right, I need to go. I've got 20s.
What time do you